Are you feeling totally overwhelmed by that endless shelf of business books? You know, the ones all promising to make you rich? Well, today we're going to cut through all that clutter. We are diving into a very specific 17-book roadmap from entrepreneur Iman Ghazi. This list isn't just about inspiration. It's designed to be a step-by-step guide. So let's see what's on it.
And this, right here, is the core idea. The argument is that most of the advice out there, while it might sound good, is pretty much useless for building real, actual wealth. I mean, that's a huge shot at the entire self-help industry, and it forces us to ask a really important question. What's the stuff that actually works? Well, according to this roadmap, the answer isn't just a random pile of good books. No, it's a strategic sequence, almost like a curriculum for getting rich, where each book is meant to level you up for the next stage. And here's our journey for today. We're going to start with the foundation, getting to that first 10K, where the battle is all in your head. Then we'll move to scaling up, where we get the skills and systems to hit 6 figures. After that, it's about seeing the big picture to aim for millions. Then we'll dive into mastering the game by looking at the big macro forces. And finally, we're going to uncover the most important secret of all, reading the right book at the right time. Okay, first up, the journey from zero to your first $10,000 a month. And here's the part that might surprise you. At this stage, your biggest problem isn't your business plan or your marketing strategy. Nope, it's you. The idea here is pretty clear. You have to transform yourself into someone who's actually worthy of making that kind of money. It's about shifting from being stuck, waiting for the perfect moment, to just jumping in and embracing the mess. It's moving from just wanting to be successful to believing deep down that it is an absolute necessity. So how do you even begin to make that mental shift? Well, the roadmap starts with 2 key books. First, The Alchemist. And get this, it's not even a business book, it's a story. But its whole point is to give you the courage to take a bet on yourself. Then you have Think and Grow Rich, which lays down the law. If you can truly believe it, you can achieve it. It hammers home that this idea of a perfect time to start is just a myth. So once you have that belief, you need a system to back it up. That's where Atomic Habits comes in. It shows you how to build the identity of a successful person through tiny daily actions that stack up over time. But a system needs a target, right? That's what Money Master the Game is for. It forces you to get super clear on your financial goals. We're not talking about vague dreams. We're talking about a hard number. And you might be surprised at how achievable it really is. All right, so you've built the mindset. You're hitting that $10,000 a month mark. Huge congrats, you've won the internal battle. But guess what? The game is about to change completely. To get from 10K to 100K, you can't just work 10 times harder. You have to start working smarter. And that means getting some very specific high-leverage skills. The whole philosophy for this stage comes from one big idea, the Pareto principle. You've probably heard of it as the 80-20 rule. The 4-hour work week made it famous. This is the key to everything. It means you stop trying to do it all, and instead you find that magical 20% of your efforts that's getting you 80% of your results, and then you pour all your energy into that 20%. So, where do you point that 80-20 laser focus? First up, marketing. Influence is like a masterclass in the psychology of why people say yes. Then, Confessions of an Advertising Man gives you the timeless, practical tactics for copywriting to put that psychology to work. And for your actual product or service, the Lean Startup is your guide to stop wasting time, build things fast, and figure out what the market actually wants from you. And beyond just marketing, you have to get really good with people. For those high-stakes deals, Never Split the Difference is your Bible for negotiation. Then, for building your network and influence, you kind of have 2 sides of the same coin. You've got the classic charm of how to win friends and influence people, and then you have its, let's say, darker, more strategic cousin, the 48 Laws of Power. That one's a manual on how power really works, so you have to use it ethically. Finally, to wrap it all up, the Personal MBA gives you a killer crash course on everything else. Finance, operations, leadership, the whole shebang. Okay, so you've done it. You've mastered the skills. You're pulling in 100K a month. You are a seriously skilled operator. But what's the real difference between that and the next level? What's the fundamental shift you have to make to get to $1 million a month and even beyond? The answer is a complete 180 in your perspective. Up until now, everything has been about looking inward, at you, your skills, your business. To get to that next stratosphere, you have to stop looking in and start looking out at the massive game being played all around you. And welcome to Stage 3. This is where we leave the world of practical, day-to-day skills behind and enter the world of high-level strategy and systems. The knowledge you need to make that leap from 100 grand to $1 million a month, well, it gets a lot more, as the source puts it, esoteric.
This quote, which people often credit to J.P. Morgan, just perfectly captures the vibe of this stage. Now, obviously, it's not literally about reading horoscopes. It's a metaphor. It's about understanding the deeper, invisible patterns and forces that shape our world, the kind of stuff most people never even notice. And that requires a very different kind of book.
See, at this level, you're not just earning money, you're investing it. The Intelligent Investor is the absolute Bible on how to do that, how to protect and grow your wealth without taking crazy risks. Then things take a wild turn with Reality Transurfing, which is, well, it's a book about bending reality to your will. And finally, Misbehaving pulls back the curtain on behavioral economics, showing you that the economy isn't some rational machine. It's just a big playground of human psychology and our predictable, irrational choices. And now for the final stage, the final boss level, breaking past $1 million a month. To operate up here, you have to zoom your perspective all the way out. It's not even about understanding the present anymore. It's about studying the deep past so you can predict the future. If you want to play the game at the highest level, you have to know who wrote the rules. The Creature from Jekyll Island is this incredible deep dive into how the Federal Reserve was created. It basically explains how our money system actually works. Then, The House of Morgan tells the story of the powerful banking family that literally built the financial world we all live in today. So why study all this history? Because, as you can see here, history is cyclical. The source also points to another book, Devil Take the Hindmost, which is all about these cycles of boom and bust. From the gold rush to the dot-com bubble to Bitcoin, the patterns just keep repeating. The key to making insane amounts of money at this level is being able to spot the next big wave before everybody else does. So there you have it. We've gone through all 17 books across 4 stages of building wealth. But the single most important lesson from this entire roadmap, believe it or not, it's not the book list. Now, I know that sounds completely bonkers after we just spent all this time going through every single book. If it's not the books, then what in the world is it? And here it is, the big secret. A book is just a collection of words. Its power is only unlocked when you read it at the exact moment you're struggling with the problem it solves. Reading a book on negotiation when you're just starting out, it's just theory. But reading that same book the week before you have to close a massive deal, that's life-changing. The real key isn't just knowing stuff, it's knowing the right stuff at the right time. And so that's the roadmap. From fixing your own mindset to getting world-class skills to understanding how the entire world works. The real question is, take a good look. Where are you on this journey right now? And which of these books holds the key to unlocking your next level?